Hey guys, I'm back again. So far we have this. This is our cheese blog. We have a picture, we have two links, and we have a title and a subtitle. And all of that looks like this. So, yeah, just to review, we have the doc type, which tells our browser that this is HTML5. We are using the latest version. We have the HTML elements right here, opening tag, closing tag. And all of this is HTML. Then we have the head, opening tag, and closing tag. Together that's an element. And we have the title inside of that head element, which is Cheese Life, because that's the name of our blog. Then we have a body tag and closing body tag, and all of that makes up the body element, where we have a header 1, which is this right here. We have a header 3, which is our subheader. And we have a paragraph, which has, so yesterday I ate cheese, yum. We have a break rule, which makes a new line. And in fact, I think I'm going to make it like that so that it's easier to see that it makes a new line. We have a link that goes to cheese.com, which is this right here. This is cheese.com. And we have another paragraph, which has a header 4 that says my favorite cheeses, which is this right here. And we have a link that has an image and 2 words in it. So this is the image. You see when we click on it, it takes us to that. And we have an image inside that link. When we click on it, it takes us to that too, because it's in the same link tag, as you can see. Now, it looks nice and all, except it doesn't. It doesn't look that nice. And we're gonna want to change that. So first thing we're gonna do is save, and the second thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new file, and we're gonna save that, and we're gonna call it main.css. Yep, this isn't HTML anymore, this is CSS. HTML and CSS walk hand in hand. They're basically paired up all the time. You can't really have an HTML page without CSS. Well, you can, except it won't look nice at all. So we're going to just call it main.css. We're going to save it in our web folder, not an image, not in anything else, just in the web folder. We're going to save it. This is CSS. And now we're going to want to connect these. We're going to want to connect this file to this file. And then the way we do that is in the head, we're going to add another line of code. And this is link rel, and we have an attribute called rel, and the data of that attribute is style sheet, and then so that means that this file that we're going to link to this page is a style sheet, and the type is going to be text/CSS, because this is CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And where the link to the page is just going to be main.css. We don't have to put down the whole entire line, like file c user zsam000 desktop web index. I mean, not index, main.css. We can just do it. We can just write main.css, because this file and this file are in the same folder, which is the web folder. If this was in a different folder, if the main.css was in a different folder, we'd have to do something else. But it's not, so we can just keep it like that. And then we're going to close that. And you don't have to do /link, because it doesn't have any data. It just has information. It doesn't have any content. It just has information. So this will link our pages together. All right, link rel style sheet type text/css. href is main.css. So in our main.css, I'm just gonna add this line of code, and I'll explain it later. Look different? Yeah, it looks different. This is CSS, which is a different programming language, but is completely necessary. And it's super simple. I mean, I learned this in like a week. So the first thing is body, which is the HTML tag or element that we're targeting. So in our index.html, we have this body. So this right here is this piece of data right here is targeting the body, which is this right here. We're not gonna add that and then body. We're just gonna have the name of the tag, which is body. So understand? Yeah. And then we're gonna have two curly braces, and inside the curly braces we have a line of code that says background color, and then a hexadecimal number, which is the pound sign, and then D0, D0, D0. And then a semicolon. What that does is changes the background. Woot. So CSS, as I said, styles the web page. And here all we did was change the background of the whole entire web page, the body. And we changed it to this grayish color right here. If you hover over it, you can see. How did I know that was going to be a gray color? Because I have this bookmark at w3schools.com, and it just CSS colors. To find it, you can just go on Google and search CSS colors. And there it is, right there. And here it has all you need to know about colors. And it's the most basic colors, the red scale, grayscale, and then the 256 standard web colors. And yeah, I just use this color right here, this D0, D0, D0. Another way you can write that is RGB, which stands for red, green, blue, and how much red, how much green, how much blue you want. Except I think hexadecimal is easier. And in hexadecimals, the ones you have to remember is F, 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 6 Fs, which is white, and 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 6 zeros, which is black. So those are the ones you want to remember. But luckily, HTML and CSS is smart, and you could, if you want, really basic colors, you can just write the name of the color, like green. That works. But I don't know if you'll be able to do anything else. So like green and blue, that stuff works. But I mean, I'm a guy. I don't know any of those complicated colors. Like turquoise. I don't know if that's gonna work. We can try it. Turquoise. Is that how you spell it? It's probably U right there. What? It actually works. I didn't know that. But name colors like this that doesn't have a name. There's a hexadecimal. So I think any color with a name will work. But we're gonna have it that light gray color, because it's my favorite color. Crap, what am I doing? And you don't have to capitalize it. You can also just lowercase all the F's, but I like capitalizing it because it looks nicer. So, best cheese in town. Great. So now we changed the background color. Now we're also going to want to change the fonts. And this is font family. All these things you're going to have to remember. You can find a list of all this stuff you can edit. Just Google it. But background color, it's pretty easy to remember. Font family, also pretty easy to remember. And we're going to make it a better font. And my favorite font is I can't spell today. Arial. And we're going to make it a sans serif, which is, I guess, a type of font base. And that looks so much better. I hated that other font. This font is just the best. So now we changed the font, we changed the background color. But say you want to change the color of the text. What you can do here is just do color and then whatever color you want. Except problem with that is that we don't want to change the color of everything, right? You don't want every single color to be red. What if you only want the title to be red? What if you only want the H1 to be red? Easy. We want the H1 to be red, so we're just gonna write H1 because that's the tag that we want. to be red. And then here we're just going to do color is equal to red. Save. And look at that, only the H1 is red. And let's say we want the H3 to be green. We can do H3 and then color is equal to green. Yay! Oh, and just so you know, all the fonts are the fonts that you have on your computer or that you link to your web page through Google Fonts or whatever. So I've Arial, and I hope this works. I downloaded this font, and this is the font that I use in all my titles, which is Yana. It's a great font. I love it. Not great for websites though. As you can see, it looks sort of messed up. Great for titles though, in my opinion. And we're just gonna use Arial because it's the best font ever. So yeah, you can start to see how that would come along. We're adding more stuff. And say we want the links a different color. And now this will change the links in all of their states. So you know how when you haven't visited a link, it's blue, but then when you click on it, it turns purple? Well, this changes it. Anything you put here is going to make it permanent. So if you want the link to be green, then all links are going to be green, whether you visited it or not. So if I visit this and go back, it's still going to be green. Nothing changes. So that's something to know about links. And in this, you can also and you need a semicolon. If you don't add a semicolon, it confuses it. It thinks that this is part of the data that you're adding to the background color, and it's like, what the hell's happening? So it's always a good practice to remember the semicolon. And so this also works for images. Images don't have text, but they have a height and a width. So we can do height, which will make it 200, but here you can't just do a height 200 with 400. That doesn't work because you need CSS is a bit more specific. You're gonna want it, you want to say 400 what. So in HTML, the attribute in HTML, the default is pixels, but in CSS it could be anything. It could be EM, it could be pixels, it could be PS, it could be there's a bunch of things you can add. You can add percent, but we're just gonna keep it at pixels, and we're gonna have it 200 by 400. Let's reload the page, and that overrides the HTML and makes it 200 by 400. Doesn't look that nice. It looks stretched, but I'm just doing this for demonstration. So now you can see that you can start to manipulate your website. You can manipulate the colors. You can see how it works and stuff like that. And yeah, so in order for this to work, you just do the link rel style sheet, type is text/css, and the href is main.css. Now say we called our file style.css, then let's rename this to style.css. Can I just rename this, please? It's not really letting me rename it. Okay, whatever. So say we call this file style.css. Here we'd have to put style.css, otherwise it wouldn't recognize it. You see, if now these aren't correlating, that's called main.css, this is called style.css. If I reload the page, nothing will happen because you need to link to the page that you made, which was main.css. So you have to be exact. You can't like capitalize random stuff. It needs to be the exact name of the file of your CSS file. So that's how that works. I'll go into more detail of it later, but I have 19 seconds left of this tutorial, and I just want to say the outro. So thank you guys for watching. Please ask questions in the comments. Please like the video. Please subscribe. Thank y'alls, and see ya.